everyone, and good morning. I feel like I've kind of been with some of you over the last couple of days. For those of you who have been tapped in energetically, or even just tapping into your own spirit, right? Which is the same thing, because if you're really tapped into your spirit, you can be tapped into the collective. Then you would know that things are pretty wild right now energetically. And for some of you that might look like some of these old traumas and things coming to the surface. But there's also a great deal of energy right now that we can take advantage of. So, and in a very positive way, I mean that. So I have a lot of different things that I want to talk about today. But before we get into any of those, I want to just take a second and invite you to do the same, to just drop into your body for a moment. Just to maybe slow down for just a second. You know, maybe you came to watch this video after the live or during the live. And just take a moment to notice your body. Let's just notice together. Maybe just picking out anything that stands out to you that might feel neutral or even positive in your body. Just seeing if you can maybe even settle in here just a little bit more. See if you can feel even more of your body. Maybe you notice your breathing. Maybe you notice what you're sitting on. There's a lot of different areas that you can tap into or be aware of on your body. It could be the whole body, the energy around your body. Just tuning in right now. Just taking maybe a few more moments here to really feel what it's like to be in your body. Maybe you just get a little taste of it. Maybe you can kind of feel something. Just get whatever you can, whatever information you can get from your body right now. So the reason why I wanted to start off today with a kind of a meditation like this is because what is happening and what we're moving towards, well, there's two reasons. One of them is what we're moving towards is deeper levels of embodiment. And so I wanted to just give you a little taste this morning of what that can feel like. The other reason is because the information that I'm going to be sharing with you today might be uncomfortable. It might cause you to feel triggered. It might not. But in the case that it's like, damn, you're going to want to be in your body for it. So what I want to go into today is that we are in the middle of some very, very strong choice point energy. What I mean by that is that every single moment, every single second is a choice point. And every single one of us right now, and we have been our whole lives, but we're becoming really conscious of it right now. We have a lot of opportunities to really tune in right now. Every second is an opportunity to tune in to what choices do I have access to right now? What choices am I making in every second? And that could be, what am I choosing to think? What am I choosing to believe? What am I choosing to pay attention to and focus on? Where is my attention? Where has it gone? Is it in the bottoms of my feet as I walk on the ground? Is it blasted off and dissociated out in a fantasy land somewhere? Have I turned off my whole organism and tuned into a program, a TV program? There's nothing wrong with any of those things. We have to be very, very conscious right now of what choices we are making. We are being presented with choices in relationships, with our personal health, with what we want to do, the impact that we want to make in the world. And a lot of that stems from, like, what we believe is possible. A lot of that stems from what we're thinking and what we're believing on a very subconscious level, day in and day out, which are 9 times out of 10 motivating our choices. But a lot of people are not aware of what they're thinking and what they're believing. And so that action, that behavior is just coming out of unconsciousness, which is why we have to become very, very conscious right now of what we are thinking, what we are believing, because that's driving the physical manifestation in our life. So here's some of the, here's the truth, okay? And you know this, so I don't even have to tell you this, but I've been with a lot of you over, like I said in the beginning, over the last few days and over the last couple weeks. And this is the push that you need. I know that this is the push that you need because this is the push that I need. I'm here with you this morning. I'm not talking from a place above you. I am with you this morning. So please hear this call from that space. The coping mechanisms have to change. Like today, have to change. There is no more time. And you know which ones I'm talking about. I want to say first that I don't mean just mentally step out of coping mechanisms, because it's not really possible entirely. What I am saying is that there's a level of will that you have in your being. Now, a lot of people who talk about shadow work or who talk about healing and things like that, we sort of leave out this will piece, or free will, or just this general will that our being has in general. We kind of leave that out in the shadow work community. And we just say, well, you know, those coping mechanisms and those behaviors will just drop off as you heal. And that is 100% true. It's true. But if you do have access to a chunk of your conscious free will, even just a chunk of it, the speed with which you can get to that space that you're wanting to get to, a more embodied space where you're literally living your truth in every single moment, clear as a whistle, it's gonna take some will. It's gonna take some, because you know what, we're always gonna have those parts of us, in a sense, that are gonna be pushing against. It's the old program. It's gonna be uncomfortable. Like making that actual shift. Think about an addict and how you have to get to a place where you genuinely want that thing to change. And it takes a certain amount of will and faith to jump into that unknown and say, I don't have all the answers, but I know I can't keep doing this. And hey, I know that part of me that really wants me to keep doing that. I love you so much. Here, let me scoop you up like the child that you are. Let me take care of you, because we're not doing that anymore. Sometimes we just have to step in, pick up the kid and say, let's try something different, okay, right? Because you guys, at the end of the day, the coping mechanisms are still going to be there. Everyone else on the planet right now who's still coping, they're still going to be there. You can still run back to any of those poor negative influences. You can have those coping mechanisms. So just try it out. And what I'm telling you is that if you're on this call, you've got to stop ignoring spirit, because spirit has been screaming at you and it's been screaming at me, and we've made shifts here and there and we're doing it, we're moving along. But a lot of us are ignoring that next level. And you know what I'm talking about. Just a quick little side note here. My mom, love her so much. She's got like this condition in her ears where the skin like is like basically peeling off and it pusses and all this stuff. And she's got these eczema sores coming out of her skin, and she's like, you know, what's going on with this, and what do you think's going on with this? And I mean, first of all, I was like, well, Mom, it all goes back to the liver. You're overtoxing your liver, this and that, right? I'm handing information on a silver platter. And then on a metaphysical level, I'm saying, well, Mom, on a metaphysical level, you're not hearing something. You're not listening to something. She's like, well, I don't know what that could be. I'm like, I don't know, Mom. Maybe all the information that I just shared with you about your liver, which is now in your court. So think about in your own life how you have certain information that's literally been handed to you on a silver platter. Any one of us here, and we've chosen to eat off the floor instead. Because we're like, well, I don't know, it's not written down for me. Or, I mean, really, you guys. And this, like I was saying about the addiction, it comes back to, we have to get to a place where we are so incredibly uncomfortable sometimes. We've hit a rock bottom, and we have to pull ourselves out of that and say, enough is enough. Fuck, I need to choose something different. Let me just fucking try something different. I don't know if it's going to work, but we're going to try it. Because what I've been doing isn't working. They talk about that in the AA program. It's like, can you admit to yourself what isn't working right now? So, and I just made a post about this, so I'm just going to reiterate this. You know, when we talk about choice points, when we talk about change, and we talk about it's all here. You have everything that you need right now to make the choice that you want to make. You have it all. You don't need any other piece of information. But we can't use that to abuse ourselves, right? Because we're still locked in old shit in a lot of ways. So we can't be abusing ourselves with this piece of information, which I know a lot of us would do. But instead, which I said in this post, is when you're about to cope, and I know I just had somebody put a comment on here that said I'm coping right now as I'm watching this. Love you, friend. When you're about to cope, ask yourself, or when you're in the middle of coping, ask yourself, what is it that I think should be different right now? What do I wish would be different right now? And why do I feel, I mean, you could say, why do I feel powerless to changing that thing? Or what do I wish was different, but I feel like I can't change it? Well, why do I feel like I can't change it? What belief is telling me that I can't change this, or that I don't have the capacity to change this? You know, we can't be holding on to any beliefs that are not serving us anymore. Period. So the belief that I'm not able to come out of this coping mechanism is not serving you. You are 1,000% able to step out of that coping mechanism. If people right now, today, can step out of heroin addiction in this very moment, you can step out of your coping mechanism. And I'm not saying that from a place of bypassing yourself. Do not bypass yourself. That is not the same thing as making a conscious shift in behavior and then being present with what emotionally comes up when we make those changes, because that is going to happen. You make a different choice, and then whoa, suddenly we're faced with the reality of what was underneath that behavior, what was covering over that pain or that suffering, and we need to get support for that. But it is not true that you are powerless. You are not powerless. Even people who are in the most horrific of conditions have a choice somewhere. It might not be a very good choice, but we've got to like incrementally make those little tiny shifts. Any place that we can, any moment, any second, any millisecond, even if you get 5 seconds in your body today at the beginning of this thing, when we did that meditation. That is awesome. So keep that in mind, you guys. It's not about winning your whole life in this whole big thing. It's about how do we step into sovereignty now, right now. 5 seconds. And then we build that like a muscle. We just keep building and keep building. When I talk about this stuff, part of the reason why it's so important right now, you guys, is because it is so easy right now to jump on cosmic momentum. Okay, just the soul groups alone and the people who are in my field alone right now, you guys, we can jump on cosmic momentum. Like even just the group, like the other people who are on this live right now or who are in your communities, they've got their own momentum. If you just tap into that collective energy, there is support. You know, close your eyes and think about every single person right now, even just the people who are alive, who have stepped out of major coping mechanisms, who have made choices that were radical, that were hard to make. And think about them living in their sovereignty right now, holding in that timeline, anchoring in that timeline. They've got your back. We've got your back. You are not alone. So fall back, you know, let yourself fall and let the support of this cosmic energy and net support you and hold you up. Because it's here. You just have to tap into it. Think of all of the teachers that you know who are stepping up and stepping in. Anchor that into your field and then use that energy to fucking step up yourself. We're anchoring in timelines right now. And for those of you who believe in oneness, which is all of you on this live right now, if you believe in oneness, then you have known that your vibration affects every fucking thing around you. Think about how many teachers have had an impact on your life. Think about how many synchronistic moments that another human being they had to be in their sovereignty to even send that ripple out. And then that ripple hit you. And then that ripple hit somebody else because it hit you. Like there is no denying on any level that you stepping into a higher place of power is going to be serving every single member of humanity. There's no denying that. And it's like, ooh, that's a little scary, right? We have this responsibility as these beings who are conscious. We have a responsibility for what we're putting out because it fucking matters what we put out. If we're kind of still slogging around and sludging around in the mud and our message is a little bit muddy and it's just not quite as crystal clear as it could be, it makes a difference. And again, we can't use that to shame ourselves, but we have to know that it makes a difference. We're not just responsible to ourselves, we are responsible to the collective. But a lot of people's spiritual journey will first lead them to being responsible for themselves. What do I need? What do I want? What's best for me? Well, what's best for you is going to be best for everything. You being in your highest self, your highest timeline and frequency is going to be best for the collective. So when I say like we're anchoring in these new timelines, it's a very, very palpable and literal thing, you guys. There are beings all over this planet right now doing some serious grid work. And you're like, what's grid work? What's that? What are codes coming through? What's all this talk about? It is information integrated and embodied that is then carried out consciously throughout the universe. So if you're on this call right now, this is, if you needed a sign, which you didn't, but I'm going to give it to you anyways. This is the universe telling you it's time to step up. It's been calling you, and I'm talking to myself when I say this. You guys, we all have something that we need to step up into and step up out of. So this is the message that says, answer the call, pick up the phone. We're all here for you. Don't deny yourself another moment without your sovereignty, because it doesn't serve anyone except for the old crap, which we don't want. One more thing just about the importance of the embodiment piece. Like, I can't even tell you how important it is to be living it in your body. Like, your body, you guys, needs to be your safe place. It needs to be your safe haven. If your body is not your safe haven, then that needs to be your first priority right now. Anything that's getting in the way of you having your body as a safe haven needs to be, that resistance needs to be immediately and directly worked with. Some of the ways that we can start to feel more like our bodies are at our home, and I heard a Feel Good talk about this, which I'll mention. Take a walk outside at night. Notice, now I'm not going to tell you to do this if you live in like a dangerous place where you know that it's not safe for you to do that. Please know what's best for yourself. But if it feels like you can just take a walk and that's going to be safe for you, go out at night and see what it feels like to see how safe you can feel in the dark. Maybe even in an unfamiliar place. Again, some place that you know is going to be safe. What does it feel like to be exposed to the elements and still be in your body? Can you claim your body in that kind of an environment? Other ways that we can start to be embodied and check into our bodies is when we're eating, when we're walking, when we're listening to people. Just keep coming into your body. Because so much adrenaline and fear, all those things, they pull you out. Think about a baby who is in their crib and they're crying and they're crying and they're crying and no one's coming and they're so afraid that they literally step out of their consciousness. By the way, that happens to a lot of people. I've worked with a lot of people and recovered a lot of crib, cosmic crib energy where the part of their psyche just literally fragmented off in the crib and went back to source because it was like, fuck this is way too painful, I'm not doing this. Pain, adrenaline, trauma sucks us out. Our body needs to become our safe haven. It needs to become our safe space so that when we're walking through the world, we're breathing in air, we can feel our feet on the ground, and we're ready and sharp, not in fight or flight, not in hypervigilance, but we're ready from a space of embodiment to be met with whatever is coming our way. We're not like what Avatar Ananda, she just did a post about this. You guys, it slapped me in the face. It slapped me in the face. She's like, we can't have people in fucking Narnia right now with their like people are like candies in a jar. And if your being is the jar and all your consciousness are these Skittles and you knock over the jar, it's like we've got Skittles everywhere. We've got pieces all over the place. Collect your energy. Get it back in the jar. I'm getting well right now, you guys. I have a cough. Getting well. Excuse me. Collect your energy, put the jar upright, and enjoy the deliciousness of the candy. Enjoy the deliciousness that is the sweet nectar of embodiment. All right, you guys, I think that was everything that I wanted to touch on today. I'm so excited because I start working with somebody on the 26th, I think, or the 27th, who is like, it's some next level shit, you guys. And let's just say that last night I got a bitch slap the same way that I'm coming on here to share with you guys so that you can also hopefully get the kinder version of a bitch slap to step the fuck up. Because I've known, I'm like, all right, there's some shit that I gotta really be embodied. Okay, I know I'm about to work with this really powerful person and all these other people who are trying to like do some serious stuff, you guys, serious stuff with technologies, with embodiment, with shedding and stepping into something new. And I have no freaking clue what I signed up for other than the fact that I don't care how much money I have to put towards that thing. Trust me, I will be sharing more about that when I feel like the time is right. But for now, I feel like it's kind of a sacred thing. Fuck, where was I going with that? Someone said, I love your live streams. Thank you. Working with this person. Oh, bitch slap. Yeah. So I got a bitch slap from the universe that was like, honey, we've been talking to you for years and you're just not, it's like you're trying, and it's like, oh, you're about to work with some real powerful shit and you can't hold on to any of that old shit. And it was like she literally put in her story exactly what the universe, oh my God, exactly what my guides have been telling you. I swear to God, she did that for me. And if she didn't, her soul, her higher self knew, because we've got a team right now building of like 20 some odd people. It could be more by the 27th who are about to do this shit. And so some part of her knew, okay, we've got some people in this group that need a bitch slap. And oof, it was the wake up call that I needed. I mean, literally like shock throughout my entire system. And I actually don't feel like sharing what that thing was right now. But, yeah, had to step up, had to come on and do this video today because, and again, like I said halfway through, this is not coming from a place of I am above you. This is coming from a place of I am with you. Today, we gotta drop some shit. And I'm dropping it too. So ride off of that energy. Know that I'm dropping some huge coping mechanisms in my life right now because there's just no other option. And if you want to work with some really fucking amazing energy, if you want to anchor in some really awesome timelines for humanity and for yourself, you've got to be willing to do it. There's a warrior energy that a lot of you have been picking up on actually from me. That they've been saying, oh, there's some embodiment, there's some not embodiment, there's some warrior energy. Yeah, because the warrior is like, it will cut through. It is clear. And it's not brutal. It's not aggressive. But it's clear and cutting and concise. And it says, I know what is not going to serve me, so I'm going to cut that out. And when the emotions, when the stuff comes up from cutting that out, what am I going to do? Going to get support from people that I know are going to be able to support me. I'm not going to go running to the people who I know are going to suck me back into old shit, who might trigger me even more. Don't do that. Don't fall for that. We're going to go for, because our subconscious will do that sometimes. It will pull us, we'll step out of a coping mechanism, and then we will subconsciously sabotage ourselves by doing, seeking support, for example, from somebody that we know is actually just not going to understand us at all, and then it's going to suck us back into a coping mechanism. Be very discerning about who you seek support from when you are exiting coping strategies, and know that you are so divinely supported. You are so incredibly supported. And Sudan is saying right here, that comfort zone will kill you. It is not your safe place. The comfort zone is... You guys, we've been hanging out in the comfort zone for a long time. We've been hanging out. We've just been, oh, we don't want to leave. The blankets are so nice. But it's not, because the blanket is nice, but it's also restricting your arms. And you can't move as freely as you want to, and you can't manifest what you want to. No one is going to do it for us. The treasures and juice and gold that await every single one of us who are willing to step into our authenticity and into our sovereignty is unimaginable. You guys have already been doing so much work on yourselves. So stepping into that next layer, it's like, woo, so much goodies in there. I know it seems dark, but it's because we're breaking something down that wasn't working. We're creating something new. That's what you came here to do. You didn't come here to be comfortable. You didn't come here to just follow what everybody else was doing. You came here because you knew that shit was fucked up. And you're like, yeah, what's going on down there? Oh my God. And the only way that I can do anything about it is by living it. And then stepping out of it or choosing something different. Like you are, right now, you are the change in humanity. Choice point, choice point, choice point, choice point, choice point. And you're going to watch all the people around you have those choice points and make, I don't want to say the wrong choice because there's no right or wrong choice technically, right? It's just prolonging. It's a prolonged choice. It's not the wrong choice, it's the prolonged choice. I love that. And what I mean by that is you can make that choice, but it's only going to prolong you from stepping into your sovereignty. Do you want to do it now or do you want to do it later? Now or later? Because also technically time is not, we know about that. The 0 point field is here. Embodiment is here. The 0 point field, what is the shortest distance between 2 points? You just fold it on top of it, on top of each other. So you say, oh, what's the shortest distance between 2 points? A straight line. No, it's 0. Meaning we have the capacity to completely, we're not having to like jump, you guys. We're not having to like jump the Grand Canyon. All you have to do is show up right now, right here in your body, in your sovereignty, and you have just folded time in on itself. Now you're here. You're already there. I know that might sound a little bit esoteric and a little bit cosmic. Again, this is not about bypassing yourself and saying, oh, I'm already there. I don't have to do anything, because that's not true. That's not truth. You do have to do things. You do have to purge the shadow. You do have to go into the emotions. 1,000%. But what I'm saying is that the limiting belief that I've got to jump from here to here and it's going to take that's not even true. I'm like, do I share this last piece? Okay, I'm going to share it. If you look at a lot of people who are in, let's say, Alcoholics Anonymous, the idea is that once an addict, always an addict. On the one hand, that is actually beneficial to a lot of the people in there, because if they believe that at any point they could relapse, they're going to continuously be on themselves until the moment that they die. They're continuously holding themselves accountable. The problem with that is that it doesn't take into account, and I know a lot of people in the AA program would be like, don't listen to what this woman's saying. But what it doesn't take into account is that you are not ever anchored to one identity. You're not ever anchored to, I am this. As soon as we start to say, I am this, you kind of box yourself in. And some of us want to do that because it defines who our ego is. But as soon as you say, I'm an alcoholic and I will be an alcoholic for the rest of my life, you kind of see how that sounds? I don't know if that's the truth of our multidimensionality. I think that it's very possible for us to have once coped in that way and to choose a different route, to shift out of that consciousness. You know, I used to smoke cigarettes for a very long time. And I don't want that anymore. I don't even crave it anymore. And that's because you're not always going to cope that way. You shift your consciousness and everything shifts. Everything. Beliefs, thoughts, emotions, everything. So just remember that. Any of those specific stories that you have tied your ego to, it's not necessary, because you can be whatever you want right now. You can be whatever you want in 5 seconds. And that's shifting, and that's dynamic, and that's changing right now. Yay! All right, guys. This was everything for today. I really appreciate all of you guys who joined me. I do plan on returning to specifically covering trauma recovery and different tools and stuff like that. But said timelessness, yeah. But for now, spiritually and cosmically, things are happening so quickly that I have been called to step into this space temporarily instead, especially towards the end of the year here. This is like, we're taking, you guys, I really hope that you understand the gravity of this. And I don't say that to scare you, but we are taking fleets of souls right now and we're upgrading them. Like, this is massive. And we have been doing this, right? There's teachers before me and before them that have been doing this for a long time, who have been aware for a long time. I'm only now becoming aware of the gravity of this. I'm only now stepping into and tapping into the collective of souls that are literally coming into consciousness and awareness. This is beautiful and so exciting. So I love you guys. Ride the energy of this. You are sovereign, you are powerful, you are change makers. You can make a different choice. You will make a different choice. You're already making a different choice. What you are ripples out. We need you. We need you anchoring into your sovereignty. We need you anchoring in the highest timelines. I need you. We all need you. Step up, hear the call, and do what it takes. And don't bypass yourselves. I love you all. And I will see you soon.